A bus crash in Camden County sends more than a dozen children to the hospital. We'll update this breaking story we've been covering for you tonight. Well, the answer is right under your feet. For one thing, these areas are already connected to vital city services like sewers. Jefferson City Police pulled over a man who then fled the scene of the traffic stop. There's no way to store any excess energy created by these wind turbines, and if the wind were to ever stop blowing, then you'd have to find your power somewhere else. MoDOT officials say the difference with this new siding is in its length. It's like the difference between a ruler and a yardstick. It takes a lot of work to put on an event like this, as you can imagine. You can start with just the stages right here.
I had 3 outfits, all traveling because I'm
Kara
pregnant,
Livingston's moved before.
Needed something comfortable to sit in.
14 times in 8 years, and she's never had a move as tough as this one.
I'm a trusting person that wouldn't think someone would do this to another human being, especially 7 months pregnant with a 20-month-old in tow.
Livingston hired Van Lines of America to move her belongings from Fort Myers, Florida for $2,600.
After they were done loading, said it's not going to be $2,600, it's going to be $8,300.
And until she pays, the moving company is keeping all of her belongings at its warehouse in Miami. The moving company says the price is right because Livingston overpacked.
If you take 3 times your inventory, your price is going to go up 3 times. Just like if you have somebody come out to clean your carpets and you ask them to come out and clean 1 rug in your place, and then you tell them, you know what, clean all my rugs, your price is going to go up. It's a different service.
Wright says Livingston signed off on the higher amount, but she says she signed off on a paper where they put the numbers in later.
Shame on you. Shame on you. Do you have a mother? Do you have a daughter? Do you have a sister? You've turned my life upside down. You've destroyed my hope in humanity. But I'm strong and I will fight.
Kyle Stokes, KOMU 8 News, Columbia. Now, as anyone who travels along this busy road knows, cars and college kids get way too close, way too often.
You know, it's probably a little bit of laziness.
When the quickest way to class
It's just so much more convenient.
is right across the street, MU grad student Kathy Bodenoff says she'll take her chances.
I know I'm going to make it across fine, and I'm watching traffic, so it's like a rule. It's okay for me, but probably not everyone else.
We saw dozens of walkers cross College this afternoon during a half-hour stretch of heavy traffic. This section of College Avenue basically becomes a giant crosswalk about a quarter mile long whenever class is in session, and MU police say that's dangerous for walkers and for drivers.
I think what's important to remember, it's a little more inconvenient, but it's really important to try to walk down to an intersection crosswalk or the bridge that's provided for College Avenue to get across safely.
So today, a private engineering firm set up to study those who are running into traffic. They do say they'll be back tomorrow, but decided not to comment on camera for our story. The hazards of jaywalking are not lost on Kathy Bodenoff.
When I'm driving up College, I even worry myself about people moving across the road because they're not always watching traffic, but I do it myself too. So.
We used to be the bluegrass capital of the world.
Little casts a shadow on the northern Missouri prairie.
I'm from King City.
Except for the towers.
Now we're the wind capital of Missouri.
That crowned this city king.
I grew up on the farm.
Made David Waltmuth wind royalty.
So I've been farming ever since, I guess.
Waltmuth doesn't measure his farm's yields in bushels per acre anymore. A company called Wind Capital Group pays Waltmuth to put up 6 wind towers on his land.
At $3,000 per tower per year.
That's $18,000 a year.
It's not a huge amount of money, but it certainly helps. It beats farming.
Money that's put a new kick
A little cold-natured.
into a town of 1,000.
After the windmills come in, we got more money come in, and we got to build onto the school. And while they was here working, it helped the restaurants out.
When you get a farmer with money in his hand, he's going to spend it. So it's helpful.
Just 5 years ago, no one would have thought to put wind towers in King City. The best winds sweep down onto the Great Plains from the Dakotas to Texas. Missouri breezes don't blow quite as strong, but they are strong enough in the northwest part of the state for a wind farm. So in 2006, Wind Capital Group built the first towers in the state just north of King City.
That's a lot of money pumped into the 2 counties around here.
Future wind projects got a boost in the Federal Recovery Act with the creation of renewable energy grants. It's a tax credit program that both the company and local officials say have been invaluable for King City's wind farms.
I think it was necessary for the federal energy tax credits to play a part in this to make them feasible to get started at this point. You know, the cost of wind energy is not cheap right now.
But that's where this story takes a political turn. The owner of Wind Capital Group is Tom Carnahan. Carnahan, as in Democratic Senate candidate Robin Carnahan's brother.
They promised jobs.
In television ads, Republican opponent Roy Blunt calls that family connection fishy.
Her brother's wind farm got over $100 million stimulus dollars.
How? Robin Carnahan campaigned for Obama and the stimulus.
The company denies this, saying Congress has no control over who gets the grants. In fact, King City's Republican state rep says he doubts Blunt's story.
I don't think it was a backroom deal. I've had a few business with Robin, and I'm not sure that Russ Carnahan, Tom's brother, has enough influence to get that pulled off.
But beyond the politics, there's another question. Wind energy might be renewable, but is it reliable? There's no way to store any excess energy created by these wind turbines, and if the wind were to ever stop blowing, then you'd have to find your power somewhere else, from another energy source that might not be as renewable or as clean.
You know, in the future, I think clean coal technology is going to play a key part in meeting our energy needs, along with solar and wind energy.
David Waltemuth is also careful not to oversell his newest cash crop.
I think we can saturate the country with wind farmed energy, and it helps. Definitely, it's a help. But we're never going to be able to produce enough of energy without probably development of nuclear power.
Whichever way the winds blow.
Who knows?
On November 2nd, Waltemuth hopes whoever's elected can find ways to put the yields of alternative energy on the grid in Missouri. For Smart Decision 2010, Kyle Stokes, KOMU 8 News, Gentry County.